What's up, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the MMA Bourbon Appreciation Society. I am Jeremy Johnson, along with Jim Range and Craig Nasello. We have a stacked show tonight where we're talking all things whiskey and combat sports. Guys, we didn't get a show last week when it was supposed to be. I'm glad we're back, though. So
business takes hold. Yeah, business took over.
Yeah. But that's okay, because tonight we have a pretty crazy show and a lot of crazy whiskey to try tonight.
Yeah, we do.
Little Antique 107 there to start off with. Craig, what do you got a pour of over there? What are you drinking on?
Smoke Wagon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he didn't go with the sip, sink, and save, or is it worth it?
Well,
he dug deep.
I've had all three of those multiple times, and I never had Smoke Wagon. So.
Bragger.
Craig just likes bragging about multiples.
Happens all the time. That's fine. No, tonight we are talking all about some cool whiskey stuff. There have been a lot of new releases that are going to be coming out very soon. There is some great new cocktails that are hitting. There's also a lot of Bourbon Fest coming up. But tonight, of course, we're going to make a drink for you. So I'm looking forward to this one tonight.
Yeah, I want to make a drink tonight.
What?
I'm making a drink tonight.
You're making a drink?
When Craig hit me up that he was like, I want to make the drink tonight. So
I haven't done it.
How did I not know this? I'm planning on something good. Now I don't know what the hell to expect.
Okay. Let me look in this.
So
if you guys could see behind here.
Yeah, behind the set, we'll put it out on our Facebook page.
There's 4 or 5 bottles.
There's probably 75 bottles behind the bar. And so, all right, Craig.
I'll go with more than that. Where's the Jack Daniels at?
I'm sorry, you're what?
So Jack?
Yeah.
Did you really say what?
Oh,
the Jack Daniels.
It's underneath the sink next to the Clorox wipes.
Holy shit, it is.
Oh.
All right.
Don't tell Stacy's friend Shonda that you're in her bottle.
Oh, that's her
my.
bottle.
I told her I had a bottle put away for her.
I hope she's not watching.
Oh,
so we're
boy.
doing we're doing my drink.
Here we go.
It's really hard.
So tell me, all right, so start off, Craig.
You get a glass.
Okay.
And ice.
Yes.
And I'm done.
Oh, all right.
Wow.
That's a hard drink to make.
But you know the best part? There's a screw top bottle.
Is an old granddad screw top?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's fine. But, so, all right, Craig, what do you call that drink there?
Jack and Ice.
Very cool. How is it this evening?
It's Jack and Ice.
Beautiful. Works every time, right? All right.
I mean, hey.
If you want the recipe to Craig's cocktail, go to our Twitter, at MMA Bourbon.
If you need to go to the Twitter account to get his recipe, we need to talk.
Fair. No, tonight, though, we are talking a bunch of whiskey releases. Thank you, Craig, for jumping in, though, taking care of the drink tonight. We really do appreciate it.
Tired of all the foo-foo bullshit you keep putting on.
Foo-foo? What do you mean by
a twist of this, a twist of that, 2 ounces of this. Fuck that. Just give me some Jack Daniels and glass and some ice. We're good. Let's do this.
All right.
Let's go.
So, I think I'm offended.
Nah.
I mean, twist of this, twist of that. There's a lot that goes into making these drinks.
I don't care.
He's a simple guy.
Make me a drink and shut up.
It's fair. All right. So,
Wow,
we are
this
talking...
explains. Never mind, shut up.
Yeah. All right.
Small spoon.
Yep.
We really had to go there now.
Yep,
Jeez.
we did.
All right. Well, no, tonight we are talking
He
about
summed it
some
up.
pretty interesting releases that are coming as I try to move on from this.
We can spend an hour on this if you want.
I would really rather we didn't.
Okay.
But, no, a lot of new releases coming up. There are some cool whiskeys coming out there by a lot of good distilleries, not just the typified Buffalo Trace Sazerac products.
Right.
But
There's one very
is.
interesting to me.
So I think the biggest one, though, that I'm kind of I'm looking forward to is the Dickel Reserve 17.
Yeah.
The idea of this being
what?
an 80% corn George Dickel distilleries.
Okay.
Let me preface.
Making sure you said that right.
Yes. No. It's one of those that it's like 80% corn. So it's going to be a super sweet, but 17 years. There's a lot of oak that hits in 17 years. So the only thing that I have really to judge it off of is the Heaven Hill 17. And I really liked that product, but I don't like anything Pappy's over 15.
So let me ask you this.
Yes.
We're going to get into a little bit, is it worth it later?
Okay.
Heaven Hill 17, with what it's going for right now, secondary. Is it worth it?
So I paid $75 for a 2-ounce pour.
Good Lord.
At a restaurant.
Which
And
restaurant was this?
That was at Clark and Bourbon in St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay, just making sure.
But I have also had a 2-ounce pour of the 27-year for $120.
And they seen you coming, didn't they?
I mean,
We're not going to talk about the 27-year.
Yeah, we're not going to go there, but because isn't it behind us?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. That's okay. There was only 2,000 bottles of it ever, but it's one of them's back there. So, 17-year to me, it had a lot of oakiness to it, but it also was able. They did something in the way that they picked those barrels. Yeah, there's literally one right there.
Just swing it a little bit.
Yeah, there you go. If you're going to do it right. I found that it did have a subtle bit of caramel to it, which still. Mm-hmm. The thing that got me though is that it had so much like allspice currant in the background of it that it didn't hit like a standard old whiskey did. You know, if you have a Pappy's 23-year-old, it tastes like you're licking the inside of a tree. Yeah. I mean, it really does. It's
a leather
just
soul
so
almost, right?
oaky. It's like chewing on an old book. That's literally the best thing that I could think of is chewing on an old book.
No, you're absolutely right.
So
I don't disagree.
I mean, because you had the 20 in my house.
I liked it.
It's not all it's cracked up to be.
No, I mean I don't know why it's.
I agree. When
I
you
just
get
don't
over
get why it's so goddamn expensive.
Well, it's the rarity of it. But when you get over 15,
well, anything's a rarity right now.
Well, that's true.
True, but when you get over 15, I think it becomes very interesting on. Is it a balanced flavor that you're getting more of a flavor profile outside of the oak? Are you getting the caramel that you're expecting or that?
Well, I wholeheartedly agree. And I think that, you asked me, do I think it's worth it? Yeah, I do think that one's worth it. I think Heaven Hill 17 is worth it. I think Heaven Hill 27 was worth the pour. I think Heaven Hill 27, whenever you got that bottle, I think you did great.
I traded for it, so it's not like we went and spent the money on it.
Right. But it is what
you didn't really trade much for it, really. I mean.
Yeah, I did. I give a sales 18 for it, 30.
I'm kind of with him on that. You got the good end of that stick.
I think you got the better end of that one.
You got the real good end of that stick.
Value-wise, 27's not going crazy like the 17 did.
No, it's not, which was kind of surprising. So the other big one coming out though is the E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof Rye.
I'm stoked about that. Being a rye person, we've talked about this one before.
High proof too coming out of this. I want to say I heard the rumors it's going to be like 119, 120 proof.
I've heard the same, but I've also heard though that it's going to be interesting. The 18-year marriage, which we've each had, very good pour.
Oh yeah, completely.
But it was a one-time release.
Yep.
They managed to come up with the bottles to do that blend for it. Rumor is that EHT Barrel Proof Rye is going to be one time.
I have heard that rumor also.
It is going to be the straight recipe, the same recipe of the rye, but they've got some barrels that have aged long enough to do it.
They're going to do it once, and that's it.
Well, because they normally don't leave them sit there.
I can imagine how much that's going to go for.
Oh, well, I mean,
it's already hard to get that anyway.
Oh, completely. Yeah.
But then put are we going to do it once on top of that?
Well,
it's going to jump the market at least $1,000 a bottle.
Well, the Heaven Hill 17 is the same way. That's part of the reason.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was the whole thing with the 18-year marriage was that it was a one-time shot.
Yeah. Right.
And to come up with 2 of them like we did was unheard of.
Right.
So, yeah, that was a calling in a favor day. And then one that I find I have a hard time with how this one could come out tasting, and that is the Woodford Reserve Toasted Oat Grain. So you're throwing 2 big flavor profiles that everybody is kind of running to.
Both first year or first use burns too for the oak and the oat.
Right.
With it.
So they're doing new barrels. I mean, they're out the box.
Well, they've got to do that
to be called bourbon. Right.
But the oat though also with it.
Well, and
single char.
The thing that gets me though is, okay, so you're throwing in 2 big marketing terms right now into one product.
Right.
And that's how I looked at this coming out, because you have the Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel. You have the they did the Caribbean Rum Cask one. And it was terrible. I literally poured it down the drain.
We had it and it's not good.
Yeah. There is a Jefferson's toasted also.
It wasn't Jefferson's.
But this wasn't Jefferson's. This was Basil Hayden's.
Basil, yeah.
and it was.
But the EC toaster barrel is incredible.
The EC toaster barrel is amazing.
Victor's toaster barrel is incredible.
but it's a big marketing term.
Yep.
And then Woodford itself did a master's collection where they had an oat grain done, and it was great. And then their newest master's collection comes off that it's another oat product that they're talking about, and it comes out tasting like straight iced tea. And when I say it tastes like straight iced tea, it tastes like iced tea. Floored me when I first had it.
I'm interested in this oak, this toasted oak.
Yeah, it'll be.
I'm interested.
Gonna,
I'm not a huge Woodford Reserve person,
right?
But I would like to try this just because it sounds interesting to me.
Well, what's going to be interesting is, it's not your master's collection that we're used to finding. It's a 375 bottle, smaller bottle, and it's going to be limited. So finding it's going to be a bear to taste it. But I honestly love the profile of it from what I've seen.
Well, it sounds fun. It definitely
that's
sounds
what I'm
fun.
saying.
I think it'll be fun to see if they pull it out of the distillery, because the distillery has some that they have some that are distillery only or hard to get things that they do have there.
Yeah.
I've got a 100% wheat Woodford Reserve that only is at the distillery, and it was a very nice, easy finish, easy drinking pour. But I'm ready to see what this comes out like.
Yeah. So
the toasted barrel is, basically for the people who don't get what kind of is going on is they are not cooking the barrel as long as they do the others. So what they do is instead of taking and they actually char the inside of it, they do like a slow roast on it, and it actually burns just a little bit, gets just enough color on it before it actually alligators like a charred piece of wood, and then it lets it soak from that. So it changes the flavor, kind of gives it a taste like toast.
you don't get the same tannins out of it.
No,
that you
at all.
would
You don't
with
get
a
the
heavier
wood
char.
sugar. You lose a lot of the sweetness because you lose the wood sugar burn.
I want to, just to throw one in here, because I know we talked about it earlier, I want to try this Blanton's honey.
So
I'm
here's
sorry,
the thing.
I want to try it.
Here's
I
the-
Is
want
it
it.
honey flavor?
No, because I want to try it, because I've tried just about every other damn Blanton's there
Okay.
is. I want to try this.
So this is what's interesting, though.
Here's this one got me because I knew what had came out because it was in one of the whiskey magazines.
Yeah.
That it's not honey
There's
finished.
no flavor.
Well, I know there's no honey finish.
But the whole
I get that.
But
But I still want to try it. We've had every other freaking Blanton's there is.
No, we haven't.
Oh, the fuck we haven't.
We have not.
here,
I know.
It's the same thing.
I get it.
it's just a different
It's a
spot in the
marketing-
rick
I
house.
know,
And
Well-
it's only overseas.
But it's not even a U.S. release. It's a, I don't even recall if it's European or Japanese
going
release.
to Ireland in September, so.
So all right, so it's a European release
Yeah.
then. Blanton's is not
That'd be-
happy. It was not supposed to be in the U.S., but they know better. They know their bottles come back.
Sure.
They know there's a market for the Japanese and everything European as well. But no, I mean it's crazy what that's going for.
Well, and the whole
And I'm
thing,
sorry, I can't see opening a bottle of Blanton's at $1,700,
I can't either.
especially when it's nothing different than a regular Blanton's, but from a certain spot in the rick house they did a barrel select from.
And so
That's my
well,
opinion.
okay. And the whole thing
I've
is
seen you
that
spend $1,700 on a lot more dumb shit.
I mean you're not wrong.
You've never. God, you sound like my wife.
$39.95. Every bottle is only $39.95.
But if we're going to talk Blanton's,
I
let's
mean, if
just
you're
go ahead and go to 103 gold to start.
I would enjoy that, good sir.
There might be an SFTB to have a higher proof later.
Well, that might have to happen.
But
All right.
no, because I will take that every day, any day, the gold or the SFTB over the
I
regular
just wanted
Blanton's.
to get you guys to talk about it.
Well, no.
I could
but-
really care less. I'm not going to spend $1,700 on
No,
a
but
bottle.
I think that the idea of it is very fair, what you're saying, though.
Mm-hmm.
Because, number one, everyone is talking about it. Number two, there have been some very big names in the whiskey world who have went, oh, you can really pick out the honey notes and the honey finish of this.
There is no.
There
honey.
is no honey in it. There is nothing that touches it that makes it
and that's
that.
like kind of why I want to be like, that's kind of why I want to
Well-
get one and just be like, huh, you guys are lying.
Well, there are
know.
people out there in this business who, they're all about you can, you get the taste of, fine Corinthian leather and all this other. Oh yes, you're
Catalina wine mix.
Yeah.
on the nose you're getting, oh, the nose, it smells like the dashboard of a 62 Edsel. Come on. No. It's whiskey, it's corn. It all
Yeah.
kind of has very similar qualities to it.
And a lot of them have a similar taste.
Exactly.
It is, but if we're talking single barrel.
And this is coming from the guy who is the certified whiskey
That's right.
steward. Just saying.
So.
Where's your diploma at? We got to put it up on the wall
We're
back
still
here.
waiting. I got a spot reserved for him. I'm not hanging anything
it
until I
needs-
get Jeremy's diploma.
You need to bring your diploma over, and that way it can be hung on the wall back here.
I did get my lapel pins, though. I did get my lapel pins, so.
All right. So I'm going to tie in a
Can I
single
go
barrel
home?
there.
Please do.
That barrel
Take us
pick
away, Jim.
So they did that barrel pick of those from the sweet spot of
And okay, so
Rickhouse Age.
So the whole thing with Rickhouse H is that it's the only metal rickhouse on the property of Buffalo Trace. So it has the abilities of holding heat longer. Now, what do you consider the sweet spot? Is the sweet spot the top that's going to get the most heat in the summer? Is it the bottom that's going to get the least amount of anything? Is it the middle? What deems it the sweet spot?
Well, I guess we got to take a tour to talk to him and find out.
I agree, because take somebody like Maker's Mark. Maker's Mark rotates because they all want the consistency.
But that's why Maker's Mark has probably the most consistent product on the market, that every bottle's the same.
Completely.
Because they rotate them all. But
Jack Daniels, same way.
Jack, yeah.
Yeah.
And you always hope that your tour guide is drunk on the Jack Daniels tour, because that's amazing.
so, but moving on with the single barrel perspective and the distiller picking out a single barrel, which essentially that's what they've done. They've said
every Blanton's is a single barrel.
but they've picked out their store pick is where I'm going.
Okay, they
So
created their own store
They created
pick.
their own store pick and marketed it to European markets.
Okay, and so let's explain what that means as far as a store pick. That means that they basically went and they go, okay, we like the taste of this barrel. We're going to bottle it for our customers overseas only. So we're going to take this one and send it over. Now,
Not much different than gold, red,
at all, because
black,
every
and
Blanton's
green,
is a
or
single
red,
barrel.
black, and green to go overseas only, not to the States.
Right. Every Blanton's bottle, though, is a single barrel.
Right.
Every bottle tastes a little bit different. And so you get to the point, though, that it's like, I get Blanton's as the hottest thing in the world. It is the hottest whiskey in the world, because even the collectors every collector, though, that goes after whiskeys, bourbons, whiskeys, scotches, whatever, wants a Blanton's in their collection, because it's the thing of all the newbies know it, and it's affordable.
Right.
Even at $150 secondary market, it's affordable. But it's a $65 bottle of whiskey.
Yeah.
Complete and total. So, I don't know. I think
I
that
refuse to pay anything over the 65.
I
At this point.
100%. That's why.
I will look, and if
Hey,
they
that's
ain't got
why I
any
make a trip
schnapps,
to
I
the
keep going.
distillery every 90 days
Yep.
when I'm off the list, and we buy 2 of them every time.
That's how you keep it in stock.
Yeah, exactly. So,
But like I said, I prefer the straight from the barrel.
I do
and
too.
the gold and the Car Gold.
I prefer
Which
the straight
that's
from the
a
barrel
whole
over
other-
all of them.
Yeah, straight from the barrels.
Well-
That's probably one of my favorite bourbons of all.
So we
to be
did
honest.
a Blanton show a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I love Mike Driesbach there from the UFC's comment.
He called us out. I love it.
Yeah, have a pour and talk about open scoring. That's coming.
So you know what? That is something we've got on our agenda, Michael. How did you find out about
Yeah,
that?
exactly. So, all right. No, we'll do another show
I'll
on
tell you what we
Blanton's
were doing
again, because we did it in the very beginning. So we'll do a Blanton show coming up. We've had a lot of asks about that one. So I do find, though, that the Evan Williams single barrel coming out, they're only going to release it in Kentucky.
And at the Evan Williams
Distillery. Yeah, which is a very cool place.
We haven't been
But
there
what?
yet.
No, we have
No.
not. But
We can
what's
go there.
interesting is that is actually a distiller pick, that they're going in and picking single barrels that they like, but they're going to vintage the bottles similar to wine. And Jeremy, you're a wine person. But what I
I
find
did
interesting
take
is,
some sommelier classes, but I never passed like I did my certified whiskey steward.
but no, so I mean, and I know Michael's looking forward to us getting into MMA,
right,
which
I'm
I
out.
look forward to. But at the same time, when you look at that, I find it very interesting. They're going to say, I've got a 2017, a 2015.
Right.
Which is, to me, kind of ties back to how we look at the barrel proofs for EHT barrel proof.
Yeah.
What release was it? We look at George T. Stagg. What release?
Well,
certain releases are
Stagg Jr.,
worth
yeah,
more.
they are.
They are. Stagg Jr. is
Well,
the exact same way.
and certain
so how does
vintages-
that tie in?
Certain vintages of wine are the same way. It all comes down, and in wine, the wine world, it's when the grapes were picked. That's what sets your vintage. So with this, I think, though, that it becomes, all right, how long did the seasons work in that particular pick? How was the summer? Was the summer for the last 2 years 90 degrees all the time? Because that will bring more into it. Was the winters freezing beyond belief? Because that will bring more out of the barrel. So it's going to play the sweetness of it, and then we can kind of judge on how that comes sweet-wise, how the vintages work.
So is this going to be a marketing scheme by them, which allows them to compete against? So bringing Evan Williams up a level by having this, where you've got your Stag Junior and everything else that's not a BTAC, say.
Well, I think we need anything out there other than a BTAC. So.
But I'm thinking that's what they're targeting, because then you're going to have your releases that are special people want, and all of a sudden Evan Williams is a brand name that's above that.
Well, but
bottom 2 shelves.
But Evan Williams is a bottom 2 shelf bourbon, and it's great.
But is this going to change it?
I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. But speaking of,
Mahler's watching.
Oh my, he is.
Yeah.
Thanks for the suits, Ben. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
So no, tonight though we
so
are
I'm
also
in the dark,
have
and so is Craig.
Oh, fair.
Do what?
We're in the dark.
Oh well, we'll let producer Matt work on the lighting or whatever. It's fine.
We're uglier.
Yeah, it's all good. No, tonight though we have also, of course, our sip, sink, and save, and our new segment, Is It Worth It? And so, Jim, we have a section tonight of bottles that are a pretty big chaser for people. They want specific things, and this is one of the bottles that a lot of people chase, all 3 of these. There is one on here that is basically unheard of to get, and that is the Weller Craft Your Perfect Bourbon, the CYPB bottle, the white one. So tonight for our Sip, Sink, and Save, we are going all Weller. So we have Weller Antique 107, Weller Foolproof, and Weller CYPB.
3 of our favorites. All 3 are very tasty.
This, and I will tell the people out there, this is the closest that you can get to Pappy Van Winkle without having Pappy Van Winkle.
And these are all 3 weeded bourbons too. I don't know if you want to speak to that a little bit, Mr.
Feel free.
No, Mr. Sommelier, go ahead.
That's Whiskey Steward, sir. Thank you. So a weeded...
I knew I'd get Craig with that one.
A weeded mash bill takes out.
I thought I heard it.
It takes out the rye component of the mash. It adds a little bit of a subtle sweeten. It also adds an easy drinking finish to it. So with that quick knowledge there, we are going to move to Craig, who is having his lovely cocktail of the evening, which is Jack and Ice.
See you guys.
So I'm going to give a shout out to Brenda Ashley, one of my wife's best friends, for the cocktail glasses.
I do.
As a bar warming present.
Okay, so what's
They're
this up to me?
They're probably vintage 1978, but they're cool.
I love it.
Sip,
Okay,
sink,
so
and
we are
save.
sip, sinking, and saving tonight. Again, we have
Brought to you
Antique
by
107.
Brett Carey, Realty.
We're coming to that.
Okay, sorry.
Antique 107, Weller Foolproof, and Weller CYPB. Again, all brought to you by Brad Carey, as he said, at Unrivaled Realty.
And
so we'll talk a little bit more about them
And
after
this makes a great bourbon cream.
Well, I think they all make a pretty good cocktail, and they all make a pretty good pour. So Craig, sip, sink, and save, buddy. Hit him to it.
This is one of the hardest ones I've ever had to do.
Really?
Yes.
See, I
like all 3.
I didn't find this one tough at all.
I didn't either. But we're flipped.
So my sink.
Well, you're just going down the drain
I'm
first?
going down the drain first.
Okay.
So my sink is going to be the Blue Label.
The Weller Foolproof.
Foolproof.
Okay.
My sip is going to be the Antique 107 because I have a bottle of it at home and I really enjoy it. And my save is going to be the CB or the
CYPB.
CYPB?
CYPB.
So you're going to save the CYPB. I find that interesting. Why?
Because it's expensive.
They're all expensive.
That one's really expensive and hard to find.
That's a fair statement. Okay.
That's a hard. That is.
So I love Craig's honesty. I
that's a
can't find that
unicorn.
one, so I'm saving it.
And that's.
It's a unicorn. It really is a unicorn.
It is a unicorn bottle. It's as bad as the single barrels at the moment. So yeah.
It's
But what's funny is
really expensive on the secondary market.
I don't think the single barrel is worth the value, but we haven't gotten to that point yet. That one's closer to being worth it.
Well, we're gonna play Is
We'll
It
play
Worth
that.
It? We're gonna play Is It
Exactly.
Worth It with the CYPB.
So that's the other
tonight,
thing. Yeah, that's coming up next with
Yep.
this.
All right. So Craig is going to sip the Antique 107. He is going to sink the Weller Foolproof, and he's going to save the CYPB for that special occasion because you can't find them. Of course, you know, Jim over here's got 2 bottles of it already. So
Why does he got to pull that shit?
And I'm a tight ass.
I mean, But the
So
money
what
doesn't
Jeremy
even
said.
matter to it. You just can't find them.
The money matters to me.
Well, I understand.
But-
What I'm saying is even if you had the money, find the product.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
you
no,
can't.
finding it right now is
can't.
impossible.
I haven't
Exactly.
seen one anywhere
I don't
in
know.
forever.
How did
No.
you get these? Who'd you? Nothing.
We can't discuss that.
I can't say that out loud.
We cannot discuss
I mean,
that.
I say a lot of shit, but I think I better shut up right now.
That's probably a good call. All right, Jim
It was only
Range.
$39.95, Stacy.
Only $39.95.
You know what? That lasted for like the first 2 years. So those of you who don't know, the $39.95. When I first started getting heavily into bourbon and bringing it home, there was a joke amongst work friends of mine and my wife's that every bottle was $39.95. Well, being around these two all the time and all her other friends, one day she goes, bullshit. There's not a single bottle you got in a house that's $39.95. I called BS on and actually pulled out several bottles that are that and below. But the ability to say I only spent $40 on a bottle, it was gone. And she listens to the show and pays attention to us way too much, so I'm screwed.
Fair. All right, Jim Range.
Pretty funny.
Sip, sink, and save.
All righty. I'm going to go a little bit different here.
I do like the big ice cube, though. I will say that.
It didn't know much.
No.
A little bit.
That's what it's all about.
But I love all three of these. All three of these, you can tell by the bottles, they get abused at the house. My sipper is going to be CYPB. The caramel, the flavor that comes out with it, I absolutely love.
Hey.
It's easy to sip.
I got 2 bottles.
Just going to throw it right on the table and see how it plays out.
My
And
sink,
You were just deemed king in the chat, by the way, of the show. So, yes, continue, please.
my sink, as much as I love it, and we've actually done that at Clark and Bourbon, when we asked to have a coffee with bourbon cream made
That you did.
with foolproof.
Yeah, you did. I
You did.
remember that.
That was a $70 cup
I
of
was
coffee,
gonna say,
ladies
it
and
Not-
gentlemen.
It was a $25 cup of
It
coffee.
was $70.
It was a $25 cup
Starbucks
of
didn't
coffee.
cost that much.
Yeah, exactly.
But
And Jeremy would know.
so the
He
Weller
likes this
foolproof.
food bullshit.
It's just the other two, the finish. You get a little more flavor on the finish than you do with the foolproof. You're talking a 95. I think the foolproof's 110 if I recall correctly. 114. I'm sorry, and then 107. So lowest, second, highest proof when you look at the three.
The lowest is honestly the best one of all three, I think. That's
See,
not-
but I enjoy sipping it. The reason I'm going with the 107 as my save, there's so much more I can do with it than just sip it. Mixing it, the higher proof comes in. I can make more drinks with it that people who don't like bourbon may enjoy. So I'm going to get more use out of that, saving it. And honestly, CYPB is one of my probably top 10 favorites.
Yeah.
Because just sip and enjoy.
I mean, I get it.
All right,
I got
so
2
lay
bottles.
it out. Sip, sink, and save.
I'm going my left to right. Sip, sink, save.
Interesting. All right. So I thought long and hard about this one because,
didn't.
as
Don't
I
lie.
said before, this is probably the closest to the Van Winkle family that anybody who has never been able to get a bottle can do. Pappy Van Winkle is the same juice that makes Weller. The only difference really is that someone named Van Winkle actually goes and picks the barrels that makes Pappy Van Winkle. But it is all Weller juice now. The old Stitzer Weller days are gone. They all were, the last ones were about 2013. And so with that, this is one of those kind of bourbons that
You're trying to hold my hand.
if you want to taste what a true legendary whiskey is, this is it. But with that, my sip is 100% going to be the Antique 107 for the exact reasons that you said, because that bourbon will do anything.
And it's also easier to find.
It is easier to find, and back in the old days, whenever you could actually buy it, it makes an amazing mule. It makes a great sour. Are you going to really just
Nope.
Elmer T. Lee in front of God and everybody now?
I wasn't doing anything because I hid behind bottles.
Fair. Yeah, he just pulled the Elmer T. Lee 100 year.
See, he's got to flop it out.
I mean, no. So anyway,
That was
my
not 100
sip,
year.
Antique 107, great mixer, great pour on its own. My sink is going to be the Weller Foolproof. The Weller Foolproof at that line, so Foolproof, it's about 2% of what it comes out of the barrel at. Very close, but it is almost overpowering from the heat of the proof. There is such a high alcohol content to it that to me, it pushes some of the flavor out. And then my save is going to be the CYPB because it is the absolute, to me, best tasting Weller that is on the market.
Yep. What's interesting is that's 114 proof.
Sean Johnson says sink 'em all uppercut.
Yep.
For life.
Well, that's I greatly
That's
appreciate
classic.
that statement. I do appreciate that statement.
See, that's the same thing I was saying about how you don't have a finish on the end; it just kind of bites. The full proof does that, and it's only 114 proof,
Right.
which is crazy.
So, Mr. Whiskey Stewart,
Yes.
what's your fucking picks?
So my pick, I am going to sip the Antique 107. I am going to sink the Weller Foolproof, and I am going to save the Weller CYPB. So I think Craig and I, you and I are the same. So
I was the oddball this time. Yes,
you really were. I'm a huge fan of it. If you could ever find it or try it, a CYPB, absolutely jump in and do it. So
you find a pour of it. Do
now,
it. Same any of these three, you're going to enjoy.
well,
Because none of them are extremely high proof. That's going to just, oh my God.
Oh, don't get me wrong, they're all three great.
oh, completely.
They're great products. I really like the 107.
Well, and speaking of great products, that is Brad Carey Realty, who sponsors the Sip, Sink, and Save. Check him out at Unrivaled Realty. He is for you in any Missouri property, buying or selling.
Get his
He
Illinois
can
license.
walk you through any home buying and selling. Great guy to work with. Check him out, Brad Carey at Unrivaled Realty. Again, thank you very much for always sponsoring the things here at the MMA Bourbon Appreciation Society. Now, the next game that we are going to play, a little segment we call "Is It Worth It?"
No.
And tonight,
So we're still on bourbon, Mike Drysball. Sorry.
yes.
What's he on? Or just,
Oh,
He
yeah.
wants us to
douchebag
start
one?
He wants
talking
he wants
about
to start
judging.
to MMA.
Okay, we'll move it here in a second.
Yes,
Shut up.
but is it worth it? Tonight, we are talking Weller CYPB. We have all
We're talking
had
all
it.
three.
No, I'm talking Weller CYPB as the overall. I believe 2 of the 3 are worth it.
Why don't we just talk about uppercut? Is it
I mean,
worth
I'm a
it?
fan of uppercut whiskey.
I'm just kidding.
You can get that anywhere in the state of Missouri now. Thank you very much. Coming to some other places too. So anyway, continue. But
So,
all right, so we're gonna play. Is it
CYPB.
worth it with all of it? Are we going?
Let's do all three.
All right. So Craig, you started us off. Weller Antique 107. We're going to go on secondary market that we've seen
$100
priced.
local. We'll go St. Louis.
Local
That's our
prices.
local pricing.
$100 a bottle.
I'd pay $100 for that.
Okay.
So we are saying
That's still cheap.
Okay.
Really, I mean, honestly, because the secondary market, I've seen stores charging over secondary.
It is.
Oh, absolutely.
It's stupid what's going on.
Next.
Weller
Foolproof.
foolproof.
About
$280.
About $280 to
St. Louis
$300.
I wouldn't pay for that.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't like it that much. I mean, I like it, but it's not that much. You know.
And then finally the CYPB.
Which is probably 6 local.
I still ain't paying $600.
Okay.
I'm tight ass. I love it.
Okay.
But I'm a tight ass. I ain't paying
Fair.
$600. I got bills to pay.
All right, Jim Range, Antique 107. Is it worth it, and why?
Not to mention, I'd probably be thrown out on my ass.
I mean, that's fair.
Was my wife watching or my mother?
I
I don't need to get in trouble with either one. Potential for
Potentially.
both. Has anybody seen any questions from my mother? She
No,
usually
no
throws
questions
something.
from your
All
mother
right,
yet, thankfully.
107, yeah. I mean,
$100
107 to me is in that range for
Definitely
$100
worth it.
bucks.
For $100
Yeah.
bucks, yes.
Weller Foolproof at 280 or so. That's where I start getting to the point that it's got to be a really special bottle that I'm going to spend that money for. When I get above 250, it's got to be something that I really, really want that I can't find.
I get that.
And as much as I love it, I'm going to pass on it at that price.
Okay.
In the same way, when I get over to CYPB, I just mentioned, I mean, it's my sip of the 3 because it's one of my top 10 bottles. I just, $600, I have a hard time dropping $600 for it.
All right.
I have a hard time.
Okay, so far out of these two, the only bottle that truly is worth it is the Antique 107. Okay. So
Mr.
100%,
Whiskey Stewart. let's hear it.
100% Antique 107 is absolutely worth it. Complete and total. Weller Foolproof, the retail price runs about $150 for a store pick. I would pay $150. I would pay nowhere near $300 for that bottle.
So that's what's funny. You said store pick's $150.
Yeah.
A regular bottle of Foolproof is $40 to $50.
Right. It's still, if
Yeah,
you could find it,
that's
you'll never
retarded.
find them at retail.
No,
This
you
will never
won't. But
happen.
I'm saying no.
Right.
So that's
Is it a $40 bottle of bourbon? Absolutely. Is it a
it's $100. I'd spend
bottle?
$100 for it.
Yeah, maybe. But to me, here's where I'm going to differ from you guys. The Weller CYPB is absolutely worth $600. It has
$600 tonight.
Damn, you might want to go get that money.
It has every nuance and every characteristic that you want.
Hit him over the head and grab the bottle back.
I mean, fair.
We'll split the money.
It has every characteristic that you want in a high-end bourbon. It has the nose, it has the finish, and it has such a light back end that there's no Kentucky hug, as they call it, that goes down and burns. It is complete and total.
I like the hug when it burns.
I bet you do. It absolutely, in my mind, Weller CYPB is worth it at $600. So, what do you guys think? Let us know.
$600 is a little. I mean, that's just fucking steep, bro. I mean,
I get it.
I don't have money like you.
It's not even.
It's not. We're not talking. Do we have the money? It's do we think it's
I'm
worth
talking
it?
if we have the fucking money. I'm broke. I work for a living. Goddammit.
But no, I mean, I think it's hard when you start getting $300, $400, $500, $600 a bottle. That's when you really think about what's the value.
No, absolutely.
Now, if we're talking an Old Crow Chessman, that's another story.
Nope, it's not worth it. The juice inside the bottle is not worth it.
Juice isn't worth the squeeze, baby.
Exactly. I have a 1962 bottle of Old Charter at the moment.
Have you had the 16 Old Granddad Chessman juice?
The old Crow?
Yeah.
Have I had?
I said Granddad, I meant Old Crow.
Have I had the Old Crow juice? No, I have not.
All right. Everybody I've spoken to
I
swears it's the best juice they've ever had.
I'm leaving that alone. Completely leaving that alone.
Who invited a 13-year-old kid to the show?
I did.
All right. Anyway, that is it's worth it. I'm sorry.
Okay, no,
it is.
Ooh, that one bit.
It's on the cusp of me. I would not argue with you about it if you said yes.
Producer Matt?
I feel you. All right.
Need a refill? What do you want?
You sure? Producer Matt, which one would you like?
What would you like, sir?
You would like the CYPB, right? Oh, you want the middle
Want
one?
foolproof?
Okay.
Foolproof. I got him. All right.
You notice Matt stays out of the scene.
I love that.
does not
He
wanna be
literally
in
knows exactly where the camera stops there. So
We've been drinking a little much, so I don't care.
it's all
You're
good.
getting heavy pour tonight.
There we go.
I started early tonight because I've had a rough 2 days.
Well,
96 hours of work, so.
God damn.
we have had some good MMA, or we have had some good whiskey talk. So it's time to move on to the world of MMA.
45 minutes of whiskey.
Exactly. So,
Jesus.
well, now moving into this one, there has been some crazy stuff that has happened in the last few weeks of fights. But the idea of an ex-UFC fighter who became a wrestling coach
For high school.
for a high school was fired this week.
Was he fired or was he put on
No,
leave?
he will never be back, they said.
Yeah,
it was announced today he will never be
Oh,
back.
okay, well, I hadn't seen that part
Yeah,
yet.
he was fired. So Mark Munoz was actually fired this week for two people who were having some issues on the wrestling mats. He told them strap on the gloves and let them go at
No,
it.
he didn't.
But they asked if
No,
they
he
could
didn't.
put on the gloves.
What I read this
so-
afternoon was these two kids came to him asking if they could do this. And he said, sure, go ahead. And didn't know they had beef.
Ah, okay.
And the one kid come home with a bloody nose.
So
and
that's different than what
Yeah.
one kid, one kid come home with a bloody nose, and Daddy made the phone call that he's going to sue.
So here's the problem. Daddy made the phone call.
Yeah,
Exactly.
building snowflakes big and tall in
Well,
Texas.
we're not going to go that far, but I'm going to look back to.
Sorry, but I don't care.
I mean,
Oh, that was
Now,
amazing.
Honestly?
if my son come home with a bloody nose from a fight, did you win? No? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is,
I mean,
how do you
win
even
or
handle this
learn.
dispute?
Win or learn.
Boys are boys.
Exactly.
Boys are going to throw down. We're going to go beat the shit out of each other and have a bear together.
I would
We're in
rather.
high school. We're going to beat the shit out of each other and move on.
I would rather that than the alternative of someone pulling a gun, a knife, or someone getting fucking
100%.
permanently hurt, or I mean, yeah.
But he's
they-
declining. It happened now,
they-
though. He
they-
said he never approved it.
They fought, big deal. That shit happens. At least when I was in high school, that
Every
shit happened
day.
every day.
Completely.
Every
mean,
single day. There was a fight.
I'll show my age in the fact that going back,
Were
walking.
were there greasers?
No, there wasn't greasers. But
Did they
coming
walk around-
home,
Did they walk
getting
around going,
but getting in a fight one day walking home, and the patrol boy turning us into the principal,
Yeah.
getting called into the principal's office the next morning, and every piece of furniture was pushed in the wall. And he goes, fight. We're looking at him, he goes, what? He goes, fight. You want to fight? Fight.
I want to go. That's pretty awesome, actually.
But I mean,
a fight
but,
right in the middle of the damn gym
But I
jump
mean,
forward,
that's
run
how he
everybody.
handled it. You guys want to sit there and be stupid and beat the shit out of each other over a stupid reason? Do it. And we had to think about it because we were already over the situation that happened.
Yeah. And
It was
evidently the
12
kids-
hours later,
evidently
14 hours later.
There's a video of it somewhere.
Oh.
Like someone recorded it. One of
Yeah.
the other kids recorded it. They evidently shook hands. It lasted 30 seconds. The kids shook hands and went on their way. Guess what? No one got fucking hurt. It was a
Right.
bloody nose.
Right. Completely.
Holy shit. I mean, let me pat you on the ass and send you home.
Exactly.
So we
Let
got
me
Ben
wrap you in
Law.
bubble wrap.
Powder
Ben
your
Lawler's
call it
on the night.
special. What's
Ben
that?
Lawler's on tonight.
Yeah.
Get out
Ben
of here.
Lawler's a huge fan of the character wrestling builds.
Sure.
It's the same way with the fighting, the respect you build with each other. The fact that these kids wanted to solve it in their own way,
Yeah.
and then they went home, I got
Shook
hurt.
shook hands and was done with it.
Right.
Completely.
I mean,
Squashed. Who cares?
Be done. Be
And-
done.
And then you got all this other shit going on in the world and worried about two kids with boxing gloves on punching each other in the face and getting a bloody nose. And you got kids getting fucking killed at
Absolutely.
schools. Come on, man.
I
Absolutely.
mean, very different
Get the fuck outta here with
situations,
that
but the
shit.
fact is, Munoz, I mean, it's a tough situation as a coach.
No, it sucks for
How do you
him.
handle it?
It sucks for a guy that is a huge role model for a lot of
Right.
kids.
Completely.
That everything I've ever read or seen about Mark Munoz is that he is a fucking stand-up dude, just one of the nicest people you've ever met. And it's bullshit.
And he's-
I feel bad for the guy, but you know what? Hey, there's plenty of schools in Texas. I'm sure you can find somewhere else to go and teach the wrestling because I mean the guy's a stud wrestler. I mean look at
100%.
But
look
it's
at his resume.
It's a tough situation to be in though as a coach. Because as a
Completely.
coach, I look back to our high school football coach. He would go through 10 to 12 dozen clipboards during the season,
Yeah,
breaking them on our heads on the sidelines.
Wow.
it's not, dude.
But he'd walk by pissed off at you and just, boom, why are you so stupid? And the guy continuously coached high school because he was growing that high school, the mentality to the next level. He wasn't worried about the fame he would get at a higher level.
These kids, these teenagers, they ain't kids. They're freaking teenagers, almost adults. They're not toddlers. They're not.
Right.
These are kids that are guys. I can't even say kids. Guys that are going in to be the Army or the Navy or anything. Just in life in general. Why are we sitting here patting them on the ass?
Well,
I mean, it's not helping.
It's not.
It's not helping the situation whatsoever.
At all.
And now this guy's got to suffer for it because dad's a pussy.
Very fair. All right, moving on to this past 2 weeks ago, UFC. The Holly Holm fight.
She got fucked, didn't she?
Well, this is going to kind of lead into my actually, like we said, Mike Driesbach had the question there.
We don't listen to him.
Would open scoring have changed the outcome of the Holly Holm fight, how it was done?
Well,
So so Jim, talk about what happened in the Holly
I mean,
Holm fight.
she dominated the fight.
Let's even go back even further. Let's look at Jake Collier and Andre
Yeah.
Arlovski.
Oh, completely.
Yeah. Well, my comment was, is Holly the latest victim?
Yeah.
Of
No.
judging.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where my take was coming
I don't
from
get
this.
it.
That's what I had as my note.
Who was the judges?
It's-
Does anybody
I
know?
don't
don't
know
know.
the names.
I don't remember
But the
either.
fact is, you've got judges, and Sanko talked about this last week, where she's gone through the training and she's talked to
Yep.
McCarthy about it, Big John and that, about what actually happened in the judging of it, and what really occurred in the fight. And when do judges, my thought on this, when do judges become accountable? It's like the Angel Hernandez in baseball.
Well,
The guy misses 90% of his calls. Not 90%, that's an exaggeration, but he misses 20% of his calls, and he's still one of the elite Major League Baseball umpires. How are these judges being held accountable so they do a better job of scoring fights?
Well, I mean,
Open scoring, I don't think solves it because, okay, I'm down 2. I thought I was up 2. I got to beat somebody's ass in the third. The fact is, the scoring is terrible to start with, so open scoring doesn't solve that problem.
it helps. I will say, in Kansas City, but in Kansas, they have open scoring.
and
Invicta, we use it every show now.
well,
After the Ashley Cummings and Jinyu Ferry fight,
Mm-hmm.
they implemented open scoring.
But what does it help?
It
So
is-
that's my
it's
question
so-
to you guys.
So it's for us at Invicta. I have seen girls come out with a vengeance, in that third round because they thought they were up 2 and they realized it's tied and they're
Well,
like, oh shit.
Okay,
That was the
that
biggest
doesn't
thing.
solve the problem with shitty judging.
No, it
though.
doesn't.
No, it
doesn't
doesn't.
help.
But at least gives
But
the fighters
fighter
a
a
chance.
Right.
Because
Right.
I mean, we were in the corners at Invicta.
Yeah.
And literally, you could see the look on the coaches' faces.
Yeah.
When they walk by, they show the score to the coaches. They don't show them to the fighters.
Right.
They show them to the coaches, and then all of a sudden, the game plan changes.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, you're down. It's not what we thought. You have to go finish this fight. And they
Right.
come out with a vengeance. So at least it gives the opportunity for the fighter to know, okay, I thought I was here because I thought I was doing right, in AKA Holly Holm,
Yep.
AKA Jay Collier. But now they at least get to see it.
Right.
So it kind of gives at least the coach some kind of crutch against the bad judging.
Right.
No, I agree with it. So I see that aspect of it.
Some of these judges anymore, though, I
But
don't.
you've
I
gotta
don't
be
know what
held
they're watching.
accountable.
Like I don't know what that Jake Collier fight. I'm trying to remember who the judges were, but I've said something to judges before that I know personally, like nothing bad, but just I would ask them, like, what was you thinking?
Yeah, what did you see?
Yeah, what did you see?
I want to, because I want to learn
Yeah.
what you're seeing.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, because I don't know what I'm seeing sometimes. I mean, I've judged before on an amateur side for
Yeah, I mean, we both
commissions.
Yeah,
you
we
know.
both judged.
But
So it's
I don't understand what some of these judges are scoring their fights on.
no.
I
Completely.
don't understand it. I don't get it. Like, why are we here? Like, they have open scoring in boxing, right?
No.
No? Okay.
Boxing is not open scoring.
I thought boxing was open scoring also.
No.
But so MMA in Kansas is the only one.
There's a
that's open
few
scoring.
areas that are.
That's the
open
only one I
scoring.
know of. Is
Correct. Yeah, that is the only one. There's been a couple that have been have tested it. Some of the Indian reservation commissions. But yeah, it's Kansas at the moment.
I think everybody should be. I mean, we have an open score. Look, you go to a baseball game, you know what the score is. You go to a hockey game, you know what the score is. You go, I think it should be that way for everything. Why are you hiding the score?
No,
What-
I completely
Okay, so-
agree. I completely agree
mean,
with it.
I'm not gonna lie. This is actually a really interesting point from the comments. Do you replace the ring card girls with scorecard girls so that everybody gets to see what the score is?
I mean, that's
actually not a bad idea.
Wonder if we can get Eli.
Mike Drysdale, can you pull that off?
Mike, can we get Eli to come back?
Elias Theodoro
Elias.
as the
Elias is
scorecard.
awesome.
Scorecard.
He's a good
That
guy.
dude is he's so funny.
All right, now moving on to, you mentioned boxing and open scoring, but moving on to the world of boxing. Fabricio Verdum is going to be making the jump to boxing.
He's a jiu-jitsu guy, ain't he?
Yes.
Can he spell jab?
He had
We're
a pretty
going to
good
find
one.
out.
He had a
He
pretty good
can
one.
strike a little
Yeah.
bit.
Can he? I can't remember. I don't.
Yeah. It's been
He's
a
not
while.
ruling out MMA.
No, but I
he's
think-
going to focus there for a while.
I think that, but I
I
think
get
that
it. You know,
But he's
money
getting
talks.
up. But he's getting up in age.
Yeah.
You know, he's got to find that 1 or 2 fights more. So
What is he?
probably 40.
Early 40s?
Yeah, early
41,
40s.
42?
Yeah. And then this is one, though, that I am so looking forward to, and that is Canelo taking on Triple G
Why?
again.
So Triple G can beat him.
Okay,
again?
no. Jimmy, explain why this is such a big deal.
I think it's the other way. I mean, one, Triple G, I think, is past his prime. Canelo is at the top right now.
Fair.
Oh, sorry. One thing with live odds. Mike said for betting odds.
I think the live odds things is
I'm liking that actually lately.
it.
Sorry.
No,
not to change the
I
subject
actually
real
was in a
quick.
sports
Honestly,
book
I
the
lost
other
my
night.
ass with Jake with it.
I did too, big time.
Collier won that fight. I don't give a shit when anybody says Jake Collier.
I mean, I'll be
beat
honest.
Andre Arlovsky. I
Complete
don't.
and
I mean, I had money from the start, and I bumped a little bit each round.
Well, all right, back to it though. Canelo versus Triple G.
No one cares.
It's the third.
It's the
Correct?
third.
Yeah, this is the third
And
one.
what is it right now? Who's won what?
It's 1-1.
21.
Right?
Okay, I was gonna say
I'm
it's
almost
kind of like
positive.
it's
I was
like
trying to work my way back through it.
Yeah.
well, that's the thing. It's like everybody keeps talking about Gypsy King and Wilder. I'm like, why? He's beat him twice.
See, now that's different. You win twice, that's different.
I think you're done at that point.
But you've also got the Wilder Gypsy King one where, was it a slow count, was it not?
I don't think it was a slow.
I don't think it was
I
either.
don't
But
think
there's
it was
the
I
talk
don't-
about
I
it,
don't
which would
care.
entice a third
I don't
fight.
care. That's the only guy I want to watch box right now is the Gypsy King. So whatever.
Well, and he's claiming that he's out. So
Well, whatever. I mean,
But
hey,
no,
good
I
for
mean,
him. Anyway,
I think this one,
Triple G.
this one's strictly a money fight.
Oh,
It's
completely.
two of the best.
Yeah.
I wish it would have happened 3-4 years ago.
When's the last time Triple G fought? Man, he ain't fought in a while, has he?
It's been a few years.
A couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's amazing boxer. I have nothing against either one of those guys. They're both amazing. I just don't fucking care.
Well, you're not a boxing guy.
Right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. So, guys, I don't even have a gotcha for you tonight. I was literally so taken aback by Craig wanting to make a cocktail tonight that, I was kind of clamped on it. So
I'm going to throw one out.
Oh,
This is just more of an announcement, and we'll talk about it quickly. Angels
Okay.
NBA expansion happens this month. So they announced it a year ago.
What?
Angels Envy is expanding.
Oh.
Another 13,000 square foot on it.
I wonder where they're going to put it.
Well, but what's cool is
Parking lot.
Literally,
might
no,
be.
they're in a big building like in downtown
so
Louisville.
they're right there when you're heading downtown. But what's cool is, and interesting, they turn away as many tours as they book every year.
That's what happens when you get that Diageo money.
Yeah. But on the flip side of it, then they've
Heard
got
the
5
rumor.
new tasting rooms coming.
400 million
Really?
is what it was sold
Yeah.
for. Yeah.
Good for them.
Exactly.
So they got 5 new tasting rooms, a new bar.
Let's get with uppercut that way.
And
we're working on it.
this is the part I'm excited about. They're going to bring back the cocktail classes.
I think that's a great idea.
The fact that COVID's over and far enough, and it's not COVID's over. They've got the expansion with an extra 13,000 and 5 tasting rooms. They can start having classes again.
Well, so coming from somebody who, I have been to their tastings.
Mm-hmm.
I have also been during COVID. They didn't do much of anything during COVID other than let you taste it inside and
Yeah.
then buy
Well, we
bottles.
were down there for
Yeah.
COVID, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when your whatever what happened.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but
She said, yeah.
yeah, she said, yeah, exactly.
Poor Stacy.
I think that it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a really awesome thing to see. Angels Envy makes an incredible product. If you can get it, try it. It's inexpensive. It's $60 a bottle.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
I think
But
you can find it cheaper.
But the rye,
The rye is about $80 at the moment.
Who cares about the
one of
rye?
yeah, I know, but
you're a rye lover.
and then of course, everybody, thank you for mentioning Uppercut Whiskey in the comments. It's all over Missouri. I will make a quick announcement here on the show that we will be now at the Ameristar Casino in St. Charles, Missouri.
Good for you.
So we will be through and it's not just for fight nights that Shamrock FC is there. It is all the time.
Good.
So yeah, they're going to do it all the time, plus cocktails during that, and then
And possibly more states coming soon.
we will have
Would you like a pour, Craig?
we will have a
We do have
big-
Uppercut on the show.
we
Selfless
do.
plug for Jeremy.
I appreciate that.
You're
a little
welcome.
Bit there.
That's good.
I mean, sure, why
I
not?
still got to drive home.
Oh, thank you, sir.
I got to walk up the stairs.
Fair, but we will have
we'll put that
a
out there
big
for you. How's that?
announcement coming up next week. So it's been a long time coming, but this one's going to be pretty big. So
I want to say something so bad, but
What do
I'm
you
going to be
wanna say?
nice.
what do you want to say?
You're actually going to finally come out of the closet?
No,
Damn it.
no, that door's
Still
closed,
hidden
my
behind
friend.
you.
Man, that's good for 90 proof whiskey. Not gonna lie to you. Anyway, all right, ladies and
The
gentlemen,
banana's
thank you very
better.
much for joining us here at the MMA Bourbon Appreciation Society, and we will see you next time.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.